Well, it's another day here at the Auto Expo 2023, and we are back to learn something more about a new innovator, entrepreneur, and how he got about on his journey, and his journey especially with Maruti Suzuki. Well, I've got with me Saurabh Jhamb, founder and CEO Urja. And let me tell you, I have a lot of josh to learn more about Urja. So what is Urja all about, Saurabh?
So we actually work on industrial products relating to wireless technology, capturing a lot of data, what do you call IoT, Internet of Things. The sensors come along with the software. They basically plug it onto the machines. And then we capture the data which is specifically relating to the power consumption profiles of the equipment. And we analyze those data and we help the actual user who is operating the plant save energy as well as optimize the production process.
Beautifully. So you make the plant more efficient.
More efficient,
right,
in multiple dimensions if possible.
This is really interesting. So I'm sure Maruti Suzuki showed a lot of interest in.
Oh, absolutely. And more than interest, I think it was a great platform for us to just spread our wings and hit and try and fail and do better with them.
Right.
Sort of something like what they say is what we also believe in, is
right,
co-create.
So how did you think about this idea, and what was your journey like as an entrepreneur?
This idea was not something like a typical entrepreneur would say, like I had this idea moment when I was having coffee or something like that.
Eureka! No, it wasn't.
It wasn't like that. We actually failed a lot of times.
Okay.
We tried and tested it, what we wanted to do. We were not even clear at the starting.
Yeah.
But then yes, as we grew into platforms like Maruti and other friends, factories and things like that, the idea developed in itself.
Right.
And we got to know that, okay, this is how we actually can add value to a company operating at an enterprise level like Maruti.
Beautiful. So
we had a vision.
Okay.
We translated that vision with Maruti's help, and especially mail program.
So how did the mail program add value to your startup and your idea?
We actually pitched our idea and our learnings to the mail committee, and I think they somewhere liked what we were chasing, and they probably latched onto it more than we could have imagined. And one fine day, I think we were asked for presenting our idea, and we presented our findings. And they said this is something that we would want to test it out with our plants. We got a POC and we worked with them, and from then I think rest is history. We worked with them and we were able to show some value.
Right.
And we are now at a level where we have a lot of patents filed.
Right.
Where we have a lot of innovations going on, co-creating with them and trying to solve the problems that Maruti can imagine for us.
So Saurabh, when you approached Maruti and when you pitched this idea, did they have a similar product or process in place, and did you add value to that, or they didn't have an existing product or process like that in place in their plants at all?
So no. So I think the thought was that they didn't have anything like that.
Right.
But something of an idea existed.
Right.
That I don't know whether we were the catalyst or something else happened, but I think they were all aligned to improving the efficiency of the plant more than what it is today.
Correct.
I mean, we work with Maruti Suzuki, right? So it's like a Japanese grade plant.
Right.
You can imagine everything they would have already achieved.
Right.
So we were thrilled with the idea that, okay, if they feel something, that's right there, the validation for us.
Right.
Right, for our idea. I mean, this is something that probably they want us to work on, okay.
Right.
That was the revalidation we got from them. And I think as a product as such, no. I mean, there was not existing with any of the other vendors as well. But the idea is not so much of just one product, right? It's
Correct.
building onto continuous build up onto what you can give more, right?
Right.
With data, once you have this data, then that opens up the eyes, right?
Right.
Opens up another platform.
Right.
I think that's where we are right now.
Beautiful.
We have opened up eyes of the user. That's what I think the mail team was envisaging with us. And the Maruti Suzuki's executive leadership was also on board with us. So we're glad for that. Now it's just that we have to pace ourselves up also and give the user more and more analytics and benefits so they can get the intelligence and run behind it.
Interesting. So I was about to ask you that, the fact that MSI leadership was on board, what was their role in your journey?
So to tell you, we were part of cohort 3, and to break the news, we were not the winners as well.
Oh.
Yeah, that's something I think comes along with experience, right? we don't lose heart when we
Right.
lose, right? What we are interested in, what progress we make. So I think that's what leadership saw, and when we presented it to the CEO, first of all, that was a great opportunity. Getting 15 minutes pure attention from a CEO-like person of Maruti-like company is a big thing for us, right? We get to learn so much just by being there and listening to what his team's feedback was. That was a great experience. When you work with the user with the leadership's view, I think the user gives you much more ear to what you have to say.
Correct.
Right, and it gives you an opportunity to really drill down what you want to say.
Right.
Even though you have a step-wise approach, and that might take some time.
Also to give you a perspective of streamlining your approach.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they're okay with you stumbling also.
Right.
Right. Looking at the kind of machines, the technology, like I said, Japanese was super eye-opener for us also. We have been looking at Indian machines, at most crazy plants, German machines, not Japanese. Japanese is another level, right?
Yeah, another ball game.
Another ball game, right?
Yeah.
Most of the things we had to say, they were already there.
Wow.
A couple of visits, we were only figuring out panels, how do Japanese panels look like?
Oh, wow.
Electrical panels look like, and they're so different from what it is, right? So those kind of experience, along with the leadership, actually rooted for us, even though we were not the winners.
Right.
There was a silence of COVID after our.
Of course.
Our plan was cut off because of COVID hit, and this plants were shut off across the country. Even though there was a silence of communication between us and Maruti Unival, as soon as it opened up, we hit back and we heard from Maruti because the leadership remembered us. And few of the people from their leadership, I don't know if I can name them, Mr. Gandhi, he said that we want to work with Urja before COVID, and he actually made it through after COVID. So I'm just amused by the fact that he remembered us, right? And today we are in because of that.
Beautiful. And what was their role in terms of your journey to GTM?
Constant revalidation of what we are doing. And if it's not helping us, if it's not helping Maruti, or it's not going to help build this as a product offering, that feedback was super crazy. I mean, that just does not stop at the leadership. It flows right across.
Give me an example.
Say you are working with a bottom level execution team, right? The weekly or a monthly basis review with the leadership of the plant, that is at the medium management level, was very critical. And because they are the owners of the process, they know what is beneficial, what is not. So when we entered into Manesar plant, and that's where we did our POC, we were given like 2 shops to cover the area for automation. That involved robotic plants, manual machines, automated machines, everything. Right? I mean, we were looking at the cars passing by. Those were very advanced plants. And to get our sensors into that work in first go, we required their downtime. The downtime is something that is actually like a lot of cost to Maruti. Us asking, a small startup asking for a downtime is a big thing, right? Imagine we wouldn't have reached anywhere if we would have wanted and not been a male startup. Nobody outsider has access to these kind of things. We were given multiple shutdowns.
Oh, wow.
Yes, throughout the course to test and fail. If we say, okay, this is not working, we need to move it from here to here.
Right.
That also happens, right? And that is because where Maruti people are involved, and they know that we are going in the right direction. If they feel they were not onboarded with the idea, they would correct us. I think this is something you cannot pay and get anywhere.
This is a dream for a startup.
This is the dream.
Yeah.
That's what experience taught us, right? User never speaks. It's the most expensive thing to get out of user what he wants to say. He will unknowingly not guide you. He will not know that he is not guiding you. But that's the user is. But bringing them to something of a light where he actually speaks his mind is very important for us. And that's what I think has been doing the trick for us.
That's lovely. Kudos to them and kudos to you. And
Super.
I think you found the right partner in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is there an entrepreneur that you look up to? Is there a role model that you have, Saurabh?
I do look up to a lot of people. I do look up to Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him entrepreneur, though I mean, he's not with us anymore. But in India, I think the entrepreneurship from enterprise level needs to catch up a lot.
Right.
While our government is doing a lot, but still there is a big way.
There's a gap.
Big gap.
Yeah.
Big gap.
How big is your team though?
We are very small. We are about 12 people right now.
Right.
But because of engagement with Maruti, we are actually having impact in $1 million savings just in auto industry.
So, would you have an advice to all the young entrepreneurs who are watching this right now?
My advice would be that whatever you play it strongly to your best ability. And when you look at mail program, don't look at it just as program where you would go and study. It has a lot more implementation than really bookish anything. Go all out, don't lose heart if you don't win. I mean, I am the live example.
Yeah.
Did not win. They're like probably 5% of the startups who actually tend to work with Maruti.
Right.
Did not win, did not qualify for a paid POC.
Yeah.
Still, I'm actually a vendor to Maruti.
So there's no losing hope.
No losing hope.
All right.
Entrepreneurship is all about winning. You're there, you're doing it, you're winning it.
Beautiful. All the best to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Indeed, we will continue building towards the future. So you stay tuned. This is Auto Expo 2023. More such tune videos coming your way.